Real estate YouTubers, large and small, have been lying to you about how the real estate market works. The thing is, while doing my research for this video, I discovered that the truth is even worse than the lie. So first, I'm going to expose the big lie, which honestly was the easy part. And then I'm going to reveal the truth. And let me tell you, it's not pretty. So let's get right into it. Nick Gurley of Reventure Consulting lays out the lie very simply in his recent video titled 30% Decline in Home Prices in 2023.
Home prices across America could decline by as much as 30% in 2023.
Pray tell, Nick, why is that?
The US housing market is still in the biggest bubble ever. And we know this because the ratio of home prices to income in America shows that right now, that ratio is at the highest level it's ever been. And ultimately, for this price to income ratio to get back down to the long-term average in America, prices need to decline by 30%.
And that's the lie, that home prices are tied to median household income. Nick's argument is that because home prices have grown so much faster than the median household income, a severe price drop of 30% is inevitable, is necessary, because that's what it would take for home prices and the median household income to get back in line with the long-term average going back to 1970. And that is a big, fat lie. I have 3 simple reasons why, and then I'm going to hit you with the truth. Reason number 1, why it's a lie to say that home prices are tied to median household income. Income inequality. Buying a house is really expensive, and already home buyers are wealthier than the general population. In 2021, while the median household income was $70,784, the median income of a home buying household was $88,000. That year, well over 60% of home buyers made more than the median income, and over 40% of home buyers made $100,000 or more. The reality today is that home buying is for the wealthy and the rich. And as we know, the rich are getting richer. This graph shows household income growth by quintile, a quintile being 20% of a population. The poorest 20% of households saw their incomes grow an average of 646% since 1970. The middle 20% of households, i.e. the median household, saw average income growth of 716%. Better. And the rich? Well, the richest 20% of households saw an average income growth of 1,142%. So what makes sense is that home prices would be tied to the incomes of the households buying them. What makes no sense is tying home prices to the median income. Home buyers are wealthier, and as the rich get richer, they're pulling up home prices with them. If that makes sense to you, hit that thumbs up button and consider subscribing. If not, tell me why in the comments. Reason number 2, why it's a lie to say that home prices are tied to median household income. Urbanization. Since 1970, the percent of Americans who live in cities has grown from 73.64% to 80% even. This graph shows the US population from 1970 to 2020 separated into rural and urban areas. For the last 50 years, the rural population has remained basically static, while all population growth in this country has occurred in US Census Bureau defined urban areas, i.e. cities. And cities, by definition, have a finite space for housing. As cities grow, they eventually encounter physical barriers like mountains or water, or in the case of Texas's big cities, the commute just becomes too long. As living within a reasonable drive of the city center becomes increasingly desirable, more and more households vie for a fixed amount of homes, which become increasingly expensive. The most severe example of this is San Francisco, which is a peninsula, meaning water on 3 sides, measuring just 7 miles by 7 miles. According to current Census Bureau data, San Francisco is home to 361,000 households, but only 124,000 single-family homes. As a result, the home ownership rate in San Francisco is only 38%, about half the national average. So I puked a little in my mouth when I heard up-and-coming real estate YouTuber JR Talks say,
even though San Francisco County is one of the wealthiest counties in the country, with an annual household income sitting at almost 122 grand, home prices are still completely out of reach for the average person living in San Fran, which is why I know that this crash is nowhere near finished.
Right. In a confined and fully built space like San Francisco, where households outnumber houses 3-to-1 and only 38% of people can afford to own, the crash isn't over until the average San Franciscan with a median income can afford to buy a house in San Francisco. I hate to say it, RJ, but cities don't work like that. What matters is how much the wealthiest 38% of San Franciscans make, and believe you me, it's a lot. A 2022 study from Henley and Partners ranks San Francisco as the third wealthiest city in the world, with the most billionaires of any city in the world at 62. 62 billionaires in 49 square miles. That's more than 1 billionaire per square mile. RJ, buddy, I wouldn't feel the need to pick on you if you weren't trying to sell access to your worthless maps for $12 per month. If you're gonna sell your snake oil on YouTube, at least present some analysis that's mildly intelligent. Now, most cities aren't as supply constrained as San Francisco, but as cities get bigger, and that's the only source of population growth in America these days, there will be more and more competition for fewer and fewer geographically desirable homes, driving prices up past what the average or median resident can afford. It's a trend we've been seeing for half a century now. That is, if you care to look at the data, RJ. Reason number 3, why it's a lie to say that home prices are tied to median household income. Demographics. This chart from the US Census Bureau shows the US population by age, and what you're looking at is a double tsunami of home pricing pressure. This population surge on the left is the millennials, currently about 26 to 41 years of age. The median age of a first-time homebuyer in 2022 was 36 years old, right here. So not only has the number of first-time homebuyers been growing for about a decade, but we'll continue to see more first-time homebuyers every year for at least the next 5 years. And we see clear evidence of this in the data. Since 2014, the number of homes bought has been growing every year. We see that by identifying a trend line through the seasonal ups and downs. In fact, only this recent interest rate explosion has managed to dampen the demand of new buyers, and still, the trend line is positive. But there's more. The population surge here on the right are the baby boomers, currently about 60 to 75 years old, and then we have a slow dwindling of Americans as we slide toward 100 years old and older. The problem here is that these guys aren't selling their houses. Research just released from Redfin makes the point in an article titled, "The typical US home changes hands every 12 years down from 2020 peak." Thank goodness. But the broader picture is grim. Homeowner tenure is down slightly from the peak reached in 2020, but it has nearly doubled over the last couple decades, contributing to the lack of for-sale inventory. Baby boomers are driving the general trend of longer homeowner tenure. More than 1/3 of homeowners 65 and older have held onto their homes for at least 33 years. There's more. Older Americans are aging in place. Long homeowner tenure is driven by older generations. Plus, older Americans report a desire to stay put, suggesting the aging in place trend will continue. Nearly 9 in 10 Americans between 50 and 80 years old say it's important to stay in their homes as they get older. The population is aging. Roughly 17% of people in the US are 65 or older, up from about 13% in 2010, and the share is expected to continue increasing. Combine that with older Americans staying in their homes longer. And the evidence bears this out. While the number of homes bought has been growing since 2014, the number of homes offered for sale has been shrinking. This graph shows for-sale inventory since 2014, when the summer peak reached 2.35 million homes actively on the market. This past summer, we were at 1.3 million homes, over 1 million fewer homes for sale, despite the larger number of buyers entering the market. So look, should home prices rise in proportion to income? Probably, if overall inventory and overall demand remain relatively constant, but such is not the case in America in 2023. Buyers want into the market and older owners don't care to leave. That's going to drive up prices, and we shouldn't expect this dynamic to let up for at least the next 5 years. The truth is, this argument that home prices must stay in line with median household income is a myth. It's a morality tale. It's an excuse for intellectually bankrupt pundits like Nick Gurley and RJ Talks, and I'll throw in Real Estate Mindset and Scott Walters too. It's an excuse for them to make videos saying, "Hey there, median American. It's not your fault you can't afford a house. You're doing everything right. It's the realtors and Wall Street and the Fed who are falling out of line. But don't worry, you don't need to do anything. Just sit it out for now. The long arc of justice will eventually give them their comeuppance, and you'll be able to afford that house of your dreams just as you are." Don't buy into that shit. The housing market isn't fair or moral. If you're a median American and you want in, you have to be smart. here are 2 avenues for you to explore. 1, buy a duplex, I mean the whole thing, and have a tenant in the other unit pay most or all of your mortgage. That's how I'm living right now. Check out this video for more. And 2, look into renovation loans, a little-known loan product that can get you into a beautiful home for 10, 20, 30% off its actual value. Check out this video for more about that, and subscribe for more honest videos like this one.